Okay. So, Alison, thank you very much for sharing some of your experiences of working together and being coached. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about what was different in your business having had some third-party guidance and input, working together in the way we did.
I really had a lot greater clarity, and I felt I had a direction to move forward, so that it was really a lot clearer on how I proceeded. I felt like I was a bit lost in the woods before he came, and we just gave me some really key insights that enabled me to focus my attention and energies more effectively. So it was really helpful. Just some really key insights where the penny dropped, and just to be able to go through what wasn't working. And then after doing that, I felt like I could actually just let go of the old story of what had been happening and then really just step into something new. Because we're kind of often sort of striving and searching for that something new, but when we're still banging the drum of the old story, yes. It keeps it in play. And so just getting those new insights as to some observations that you shared with me that were really helpful as to how I could approach the business from a different direction enabled me to embody that more, so I could step into that something new more easily.
Great.
And things have really skyrocketed since we met. I mean, it's completely transformed the practice. I've been able to ask for the right help and support, and so rather than being kind of working for the company, it's sort of working for me more, which has been what I've always been looking for. It's really helpful.
Which is totally what it's about, isn't it? It's like, how do you break that cycle of not quite getting where you want to and breaking through into there is a way, we just sometimes need some help to really find it.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited that things are really starting to move for you. I know when we, you mentioned when we spoke recently that there were some things that you were a little bit surprised or unexpected that were tools that we used together to actually help you. It wasn't just business coaching, and I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that, because I know that sometimes it helps to have a bit of an insight into, what it's actually like to work together and be coached.
Yeah, I felt that you were really great at listening to what had been happening, and you had a more holistic understanding. It wasn't just about sort of business strategy or very nuts and bolts kind of ways of working. It felt like you brought in a much more empathetic approach to the work that you do, and some guidance that was, I don't know how I'd describe it, it felt like it was a very holistic approach that you had, so it wasn't just looking at business and all the sort of business dynamics. It was more about how that would integrate into my life, into my everyday world, and I hadn't really sort of appreciated that, but the things that we sort of discussed I was able to take forwards into all different aspects of my life. And you gave me some great suggestions on books that I could read, so it was sort of a continuation after we only had a sort of breakthrough meeting, didn't we? It was like a sort of a half day.
Yes.
Actually, I think we ran into almost a full day session in the end, but it was, it was really, really insightful, the information that you gave me.
And ultimately, it can be very fast, when you really focus and when you're ready for it, change can come very quickly. And so what would be just one or two things that you would say to someone who's never worked with a coach before, or, who just needs a little bit more insight? What would you say to them to kind of just try it out?
I would say work with somebody that you feel comfortable with, that you've got a really good connection with, because I think that's really very important. And what else would I say? I think it would be invaluable to find somebody like yourself that can really make sure that you're a good listener, and it's not about you giving me the answers, but actually enabling me to find my own answers, and that's far more empowering than somebody coming along and trying to go and do the fix-it kind of approach, which doesn't work. But I appreciate that coaching is more about kind of getting you to, you getting the client to find their answers and knowing that they already have them within them. It's just drawing those ideas out. and getting them into a workable format and sort of focusing it in an appropriate direction.
That's it. And so clarity and simplicity kind of underpin everything. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add just before we close?
I think one of the most important things that you gave me, and it was right at the very start of the session, it was about archetypes and looking at how the archetype that I brought into my business was actually slightly sabotaging what I was doing. And so by switching focus to a different archetype, it was almost like I took off that old cloak and put something new on, and was then able to embody that and step forwards in that new way. So that was really, really helpful. So it's amazing, just like those, sometimes it's like a sentence or just some new idea that helps to underpin a completely new understanding about the way you work, and you gave that to me, so I'm really, really, really grateful.
No, you're welcome. And celebrate you and everything that you've done and achieved and are in the process of achieving right now. So thank you. It was an absolute pleasure. And here's to more and observing your growth from here onwards. So thank you, Alison. I appreciate you, and thank you for sharing your message with anyone who might watch this and be inspired by it. So thank you very much. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye. Goodbye.